What is up, guys? And in today's video, we're going to be reviewing a few different Rode products in one video. We're going to be talking through the Rode PodMic. It's a microphone, so you can get your own opinion from how it sounds and just how I'm talking into it. And I just have like all the equalizers set to the default settings on what we have it plugged into, which is the Rode StreamerX. This is their audio interface and capture card all in one for $399. And then whilst I'm talking into the Rode PodMic, we're checking out their new stand. It's called the Rode DS2. It's honestly made, I would say, for podcasting, because if I was a gamer, I don't think that I would be using this on a regular basis, just because I'm going to switch to the top down view and it kind of gets in the way. Like if you have a USB cable or XLR cable just going through your desk, and then you got like your headphones as well, for example, you just got like a lot of wires just in the way of you playing your games and whatnot. And me personally, this is pretty cluttered, and I feel like this would actually be more of a distraction in game. Even though you're going to want to use a PodMic and your microphone is going to sound good and whatnot, personally I would rather just use an overhead microphone mount or stand. I think that this makes a lot of sense for a podcasting environment, but for gamers, I wouldn't say so. So just keep that in mind. If you are interested in the Rode DS2, I would get this for a podcasting setup. Otherwise, I would probably consider something that is going to be like an overhead mount that you could put one of these pod mics onto and have it not be in your way and in your face. How do you guys think the Rode PodMic sounds so far? Drop a comment and let me know what you guys think of the Rode PodMic. They do also have a PodMic USB that you don't have to use an XLR input. And that one, I'm not personally taking a look at right now, but I think they did make some small improvements to it. But otherwise, it's pretty cool because you can use an XLR input as well as a regular USB Type-C. Let's talk about the Rode StreamerX now as well. The view that you're looking at right now is actually through the capture card, capturing a 1080p 60 input, which it can capture no problem. But this thing can do up to 4K 30 as well. And it's plugged into my Sony A7C, which can tap out at 4K 30. But normally I film videos at 60 FPS, so we're leaving it at the 1080p 60, and I don't have any problems with this. You can also use this to pass through 4K 60 if you're going to use this for like a gaming console or the gameplay for your stream coming from your computer. That's where that makes the most sense, because what you're going to be able to see is 4K 60. But if you are playing at anything above 1080p 120 or 4K 60, then the StreamerX is not going to be able to do that because it's limited to HDMI 2.0 speeds for pass-through. It's not HDMI 2.1. So just so you guys are aware. But otherwise, in terms of like just capturing, honestly, for the $399 price point, I would like to see it be able to capture 4K 60, because a lot of modern cameras can do 4K 60 now. And I just think that that would be really nice to be able to do that over HDMI and actually be able to display it through your stream. But otherwise, this thing is pretty cool. We're just going to pretend that I have it in my hands, because that's what I'm running everything through in this video right now. Actually, let's go ahead and pull it up on the desktop. So here we're taking a look at the specs of the StreamerX, and what's nice about it, you do have these little touch pads up top that, quite frankly, the touch pads are kind of nice. You just got to give them a nice tap, and then it does the action that you have it set to do. Quite honestly, guys, the top 4 buttons are either going to help you with a presentation if you are doing a PowerPoint slideshow, for example, or it's going to help you with some soundboard type stuff if you want that to play through your stream. But otherwise, my hopes for this personally was that it was going to be very similar to like an Elgato Stream Deck, where I could change OBS scenes and things like that. And you probably can do it, but I'm going to show you guys the software in a little bit. And I absolutely hate both softwares that Rode has included with this. Like, just compared to the Elgato equivalents, I just don't think that they're good. And I also don't think that they're user friendly at all. And we'll get into that in just a bit. But this is how it looks from the front. It's very intuitive from the design aspect of it. You have your microphone gain knob on the left, your headphone gain knob on the right to control your volume of both of those, and then a mic and video button. And then you have these 2 buttons to go through like different scenes, again, in a presentation, and then these 4 tap buttons up here. This thing also has compatibility with wireless Rode mics, so you can set a wireless Rode mic as one of your sources if you're doing some things where, let's say, you're moving around your room. You can connect a Rode Go Wireless 2 wear that and then have your audio transmitted through the Rode StreamerX, which is kind of cool. The side view, this is the back. So you've got two inputs that you can plug into two separate computers if you're using a dual PC setup. And then you have this one here for power. And then this is going to be your HDMI input and throughput. So your input is obviously where you're going to plug in your camera or your game console for what you're capturing. But just remember that you're going to be limited to either 1080p 120 or 4K 30 in terms of what your stream is going to be able to see. And then you have your two headphone jacks, either a 3.5 or a 1/4 inch, and then you have an XLR input, and then the phantom power 48 volt switch there, which is also digital as well. So it's a button, so you can do it either in the Rode software or physically on the StreamerX. So here are all your inputs and outputs for the Rode StreamerX. Obviously, this is a lot of resolutions. I'm not really going to talk you through all of this, but you can see like this is what you can input and show on your monitor, for example, and then this is what's going to be captured and shown to your recording or your stream on this side. So just keep that in mind. Now let's talk about the software of the Rode StreamerX, the Rode Central app, and the Rode UniFi app. So here we are in the Rode StreamerX, and you have your audio setup where you can set up like your mic and whatnot. Basically, you hit the settings button and you have some of these like advanced options, and you can turn on and off processing, change the gain, and some other things too. Like if I click on the equalizer, I can change how I want the microphone input to sound. And this is kind of confusing because you would think that this would be the settings for your microphone that you have plugged in. And then when you go over here to mess with your headphones, that you would go to the same tab and click on the equalizer. And this would be messing with the equalizer from the headphone output. But really it's just messing with the equalizer on the microphone. So that's kind of unfortunate, because one thing that I hoped for from the Elgato Wave XLR was a feature to be able to control the output of the headphone jack. And this also suffers from the same problem. So that is not, a thing that would be better. And I was kind of hoping so for like a more expensive device anyways, but there's no built-in like audio equalizer software for your headphones, only for your microphone. But maybe that could be changed in the future with a software update. Honestly, that would be great. Now, moving on from like all these settings that you can mess with, this is going to be different channels, obviously. So you got USB 1 and 2 for your inputs and outputs for your stream and what you want to hear through your headphones. You can either link those or unlink them so you can have different volumes going to, again, your stream or your headphones. And then your HDMI, your stream output, I believe, and then your wireless device, your microphone that you have plugged in, and then your headphones. Quite honestly though, like when it comes to these customizing smart pads, basically I don't really love this interface. Like you click on something and nothing really happens. Like maybe I'm not really looking that far into it, and then you turn on your presentation mode, you do the same things, and it just changes the buttons on your dock. And quite honestly, I mean, if you're streaming with this, you're probably not going to be doing a lot of PowerPoint presentations. I mean, I'm sure that you can, but the likelihood of you doing that is probably pretty low. When was the last time you guys ever used a PowerPoint presentation in your live stream? Anyways, like this is supposed to be marketed toward streamers, right? But I digress. The touchpad, obviously you have like these air horn and like FX pitch for your microphone and whatnot, a sensor bleep, a voice disguise, and that's just like a couple of the things that you can use. But again, I don't really find a lot of that stuff useful. I was hoping to be able to change like OBS scenes and things like that, but it doesn't seem like it has that type of capability just yet. Maybe it will in the future, or maybe it won't. I'm not sure. But basically, this is kind of a whole lot of nothing outside of the equalizer for the microphone, and that was about it. I was really hoping that it had a headphone equalizer, so this is basically like nearly useless to me other than changing the way that your microphone sounds. Let's check out the Rode UniFi X software next. Okay, so a couple minutes later, I had to like reset up the mic in OBS because when I opened the Rode UniFi X software, it changed the microphone device, which is not good for consistency. Like the microphone that I had it on, which is supposed to be your device input, was not working at all. So that is a problem. And then also, basically this is supposed to be like an Elgato Wave link software, I believe is what it's called, when you can have like your Discord in one channel and your Spotify in one channel and your Chrome in another channel and all that stuff. And that's what the idea of this is. It's similar to like a SteelSeries sonar as well, but the implementation is honestly just not that great. And again, the interface is pretty confusing, and it's honestly there's a whole lot of nothing here. Like there's not really many things that I would use. Like, there's like other effects, just one page of other effects. And over here we have like these different effects that you can use and customize and whatnot. And you can customize them here, but in the other Rode software, there was no easy way to figure out how to customize them. So I just did not like that. But also, like, these effects are pretty limited in how often that you would use them. If you were just going to be in only the Rode ecosystem, for example, how are you supposed to switch scenes if your thing is you want to be a live streamer, right? And the fact that like they don't easily have a way to say, hey, I want this button, 1 of 4, to be for my main stream, and this one to be for my other scene, and this one for my other scene, this one for my end screen and for my stream. They need to figure out how to make this user interface way more user friendly, because me, I would say as like a 7 out of 10 in terms of like how intermediate I am with dealing with technology, setting up live streams on OBS and stuff like that, because I'm not like a huge live streamer, obviously, in terms of like how often I want to do it. But if I was going to do it, I usually try to find the easiest way and most time efficient way to do it and get a high quality result that didn't take a million years to get to that point. And this is definitely not that kind of experience. So just to let you guys know that if you are looking for an easy live streaming experience, the only good thing that you're going to get out of having this entire setup is going to cost you about $600 together, $100 for the mic, $90 for the mic stand. You got to spend money on the cable as well. And then the Rode StreamerX is going to cost you about $600. I would honestly probably rather keep the PodMic and spend the other $500 on the Elgato stuff, because they just have more cohesive menus that make a lot of sense, that are easy to use and easy to understand. And I'm sure that comes from like years of working on the things as well, where this Rode stuff is pretty new. So it's hard to see value in it at the moment. But I'm not going to make this video any longer than it has to be. Obviously, the PodMic sounds good. $100, very good. This type of stand, if you're starting a podcast, then this is a pretty nice stand. But otherwise, if you're gaming, I don't think I would get this stand. I would get something a little bit more low profile and out of the way. That would be less of a distraction, especially if you're playing keyboard and mouse, because there's going to be a lot of clutter on your desk. But otherwise, thank you guys for watching this video. I'll have all this stuff linked in the description below if you're interested in picking it up. But yeah, it's okay, but not my favorite. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.